Okay. So today we will continue from the place where we left yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, if you recall, we have created this recovery service fault in the northern Europe, North Europe. Okay, and enabled replication for two virtual machines because we wanted to safeguard the two virtual machines, which is VM01 and VM02, in case of disaster happens in the Western Europe. Okay, so to check that, if you go to the that recovery service vault which we have created in the DR region, and if you go to the site recovery option here, okay, and go to the overview blade, and you can go to the site recovery option here. There you will get the summary of what has happened. Okay, you can see here there are two healthy, I mean we have enabled replication for total two virtual machines, and both are healthy, and you can see both got replicated and they are pending with failover. You can see they are pending with failover. What we have to do now, we have to go to the replicated items here. You go to the replicated items here, and you can see both the virtual machines are, see, VM01, it is healthy, it is protected. Where it is protected, the active location is Western Europe. If you look at the warning, if you click on that, it will tell you the overall current status. Okay, health status is healthy, means replication status is healthy, status is protected. RPO means recovery point of object, 35 seconds. Okay, as on this one. Okay, and configuration issue, nothing. It is not for it does not found any configuration issues. Agent is this one. Agent status is this one. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to test whether our configuration is correct or not. How we have to do? We have to click on test failover. Okay, as soon as we click on test failure, okay, it will failover, it will create a new virtual machine in the western northern Europe region. Okay, you see here, if I just create a test failover, I'll have to select the vnet, it is ESR vnet, and see recovery point. We need to select the latest or least processed. We have to select. Okay, let me select the least processed time. So I'll select that. I'll just click on test failover. Now it will create a new virtual machine called VM01-test. Similarly, I'll go to the replicated items. I'll click on this VM02 as well, and I'll initiate test failover for the VM02 as well, and I should keep that virtual machine also in the ASR VNet. This is very important to select the right VNet because all the ports and all opened in that particular VNet only. Okay, so I have placed this VM, both the VMs in the same virtual network, and I have now initiated. See, it is starting the task to perform the test failover. As soon as the test failover is done, then we need to go to the failover. Okay, I'll show you that. We may need to wait for that to complete. Okay, here duplicate. I'll go to the virtual machines here. We'll see if something can be visible here. Okay, it should come. Now you only see two virtual machines, VM01 and VM02, in the Western Europe region. Since we are enabling the test failover, we will see two more servers with VM01-test, VM02-test will be created in the northern Europe. Okay, so we just have to wait for that to complete. If you go to the recovery service fault, meantime I wanted to show you something. See here, See, this is your primary region, and in the primary region you have two virtual machines, okay, and this is your recovery region, okay, where it is recovering, it is using Azure site recovery, okay, and what are we recovering? We are recovering the Azure virtual machines, okay, and all the virtual machines are there in the cache account here. The data is here, okay. Now the data get replicated to this storage account, and the VMs will be getting created. You see here there are two VMs which are in progress. So they're yet to no kick started actually. They started, but there are some background things going on. Okay, so it will take some time. Starting the virtual machines to perform the test failover for virtual machines VM02. So they just started now. Okay, let me refresh the screen. See, cleanup test, cleanup failover is pending. So let me refresh by going to the virtual machines here. You see here now there are two virtual machines got created. See, VM01-test, VM02-test. And where is that virtual machine? See, this is in the Northern Europe. Okay, this is also in the Northern Europe, right? So now whatever connections we have done, whatever configurations we have done, that is correct only. So what we have to do now, we have to do the, see, it says VM01 is healthy, replication status is healthy, and the failover is also healthy. Now the status is cleanup test failover. What you have to do, you have to go to the cleanup, that option, and now you see here this failover and test failover got disabled. Now this test failover is enabled. Okay, what you have to do, you have to click on test failover. Test fail over. Okay, so testing is complete. Delete the test failover virtual machines means we are just trying failover, then this virtual machines will be getting created, deleted. Okay, let me click this button and click on OK. So now you see it is initiating the test failover cleanup. Okay, again I'll go to the VM02. I think one I have created already. Successful. I think both got initiated now. So we need to wait. Now what will happen? It will check, okay, whether all the configurations are correct or not. As soon as the test failover is done, these two virtual machines, whatever we have here, these two test virtual machines, they will be getting deleted. You see here one test gone. One test VM01 test got deleted now. Okay, so now let me refresh this one. And now you can see the first VM01, it says the status is protected. That means the all the configurations which is required to protect the VM01 is done now. So similarly, I click on this VM02 as well. Okay, fine. I can see that cleanup test failover. I'll click on this cleanup test failover now. Test fail over. I'm just commenting it. testing is complete, delete the test failover virtual machine. So fine. Now once the test protection is completed, if you go and see the replication, the site recovery graphs I was seeing, no, I was showing you, right? You see there how the data is getting synchronized. I'll show you once it is completed. Okay, so meantime we can go there, recovery service vault, overview blade. If you go to the site recovery, okay, now you see here there are two virtual machines. The replication health is green and failover is also green here. Okay, and see, this is something configuration issue, that's not a problem. And if you look at now here, one is in progress. So once both the second one is also done, then you will have 0 jobs processing. So we will be good actually. Okay, so then in the storage accounts there will be two virtual machines will be sitting here in the storage account. So let me refresh here. See, it got deleted because the test failover is created, done now, completed now. So I'll go to the protected items here, replicated items, and you can see both will be protected now. It's still completing, going on. It's still going on. So as soon as that is completed, I think it is done now. Yeah, see now both the VM01 and 02 are protected now, so we are good. Now we can straight away do the failover. Okay, if I just here you have to click on the failover now. Failover. When you do failover, the virtual machines which are there in the Western Europe will be getting deleted. Okay, and Northern Europe will be, you have to select shut down the virtual machine before beginning the failover. Okay, I'll click on that button and do the failover. Similarly, I'll do it for the VM02 as well. I'll go to the VM02 and I'll do failover. I'll select the shut down the machine before signing in, and now I've initiated the failover. Now if you go to the virtual machines here, the failover is beginning here, starting the task to perform unplanned failover of virtual machines. So now it will start. What it will do, it will move all the configurations from the Western Europe to the Northern Europe server, and it will shut down the Western Europe server, and Northern Europe servers will be up and running. So once they are done, what we have to do, we have to go to the load balancers. We will be having the load balancers. In the load balancer, we need to add this public IP. So whenever the users are trying www.some application.com, right, that website will be behind the, that is a load balancer IP address will be there. What you have to do in the DNS, you have to make the changes of the Western Northern Europe load balancer IP address. You need to change. Then without, user will not know that we have now they are connected to the Northern Europe server, but the applications will be running without any issues. So let me refresh this one. You can see both are deallocated, stopped now. Now they will create the new virtual machines in some time because it's still going on. See, so now what I have done, I have just came here to the virtual machines. I'm just refreshing it here, and you can see the VM01 is running. Where it is Northern Europe, and see VM02 is getting created, see, creating where, in the Northern Europe. And you see here both the VM01 and VM02 which are there in the Western Europe are deallocated, it is shut down. they are deallocated. That means now the virtual machines which are there in the northern Europe are working, and the western Europe are got deallocated. So our configuration is intact, no issues. Okay, this is how we configure the disaster recovery. Now if I go to the recovery service fault, and if I go to the overview blade, site recovery, you see here replication both are good, there is no issue. See, there is no issue, and we are good actually. So now what we have to do, if you want to bring the servers again back, you have to go to the replicated items here. You have to open the VMs01. Okay, and you can commit. You can commit means whatever application status currently you are there, it will be saved. You cannot again change the, say for example you have failed over, you may see some data is missing. Okay, while when you are recovering, you can select the recovery point. I was selecting that RPO, right? There you can select the custom time, and maybe any particular time you wanted you can select. So what I have selected, I have selected least processing time. Okay, if when you choose that, if you are missing some data, you can go back and you can or select some other point and run recovery. But after the commit, you cannot do anything. Commit means that is final. I've initiated the committing for VM01. Similarly, I'll initiate it for VM02 as well, and I'll show you how to reprotect again. I'm selecting commit here. Commit. So I think one is done now. Committing failover successfully completed for VM01. So we are good. Now I'll go to the replicated items again. I'm refreshing it. See here, failover committed, and this is committed. Commit is in progress. Still going on. We are done. Now what we have to do? We have to go to the VMs here. You have an option to reprotect. See here, when you click on reprotect, now the VMs will be getting synchronized from northern Europe to western Europe back. I will just click on OK. Similarly, now I will go to the VM02. I will reprotect it. See dr-rg01. Yep. So it will take some time. This is called as failback. Moving the servers again back to the primary region is called as failback. Failover means moving the servers from primary region to the secondary region or the DR region. Failback means moving back from the disaster recovery region to the primary region. Okay, so now it is done. Let me refresh. Let me go to the recovery service vaults. I'll reprotect both actually now. See here, Northern Europe to Western Europe, reprotecting. So let this get completed. Yeah. So what we will do, meantime that is the reprotection is completed, we'll quickly walk through the auto scaling concept. Okay. So in the Azure we have a concept called scaling. Scaling means you already know that either increasing the size of the VM or decreasing the size of the VM. Okay. So what auto scaling means the ability of or the ability or the feature which allow you to increase the required resources or decrease the unwanted resources according to the application behavior. Okay, say for example, automatically it increases the either capacity of the configuration or capacity of the virtual machine. Say for example, you will decide, you will define, okay, some condition. If the CPU and memory of the virtual machine is going 90%, increase the CPU by 2 and also memory by 8 GB or 4 GB. Like that, you will tell the condition. So that auto scaling, what it will do, it will monitor the utilization of the CPU and memory. As soon as the CPU and memory touches 90%, it increases the capacity of the virtual machine. Okay, or it increases the number of virtual machines, similar replica of the virtual machines. Okay, so you see here the ability or the feature which allow you to have the required resources available to handle the load on your application. The same thing I told you have to maintain the application performance. That is why you will enable this auto scaling option. As soon as the utilization reaches 90%, you will increase the capacity of the virtual machine. It also allow you to add resources as increases in load also reduces the resources if the VM resources are observed idle. The same thing I said. So you can mention as soon as the utilization goes 90% increase, or as soon as the utilization comes to 40%, then you can reduce the size of the virtual machines to save the cost. Okay, that is what we call it as auto scaling. Okay, you see, in order to trigger that, you should have some conditions. What we have to do, you have to specify the condition, what is the minimum and what is the maximum number of instances should be there. Okay, so minimum, make sure always there will be at least a VM instance to make the application available. Means minimum means there should be always one application server. Maximum can be, you can define how much ever you wanted. Say for example, normal days, both Flipkart and Amazon, there won't be much usage. Hardly around 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs user will log into the Flipkart and Amazon. Let me consider Amazon. So the regular traffic of the Amazon may be around 25 lakhs. Imagine. But during the big billion day sale, that 25 lakhs will cross as 1.5 crore to 2 crores also. So 2 crores people will log into the applications to do the shopping. So do you think if you still have two servers behind the load balancer will suffice all the 2 crores users? No. That is why you see the issues there. Okay, when you make the payment, it will keep on loading, and after some time it tells you payment is failed. So that is actually the business loss. So normally, as soon as you go to the website, any e-commerce website, say for example in our case it is Amazon, as soon as you add the item to the cart, if you click on payment, it should take you to the payment. As soon as you pay, it will ask for the password, and within 2 seconds the payment has to be done and you should get the product ordered. Okay, if you take 5 minutes to complete one order, nobody will be wish to sit in front of the machine and do the wait for the 5 minutes. So that is again the business loss. So in order to avoid that kind of business loss, what we have done, we have enabled this auto scaling option. Okay, auto scaling option, what we have done, we have defined the condition. Okay, whenever there is a utilization of this computer less than 40%, you don't need to do anything. As soon as the number of users are getting logged in, the utilization of the CPU and memory is getting increase, and at one particular point it reaches 90%. Okay, then you will tell build two more identical servers with the same configuration, or five more identical server with the same configuration. Then you build another VM and add behind the load balancer. So it is, I mean, we can define that actually. Okay, as soon as the utilization reaches 90%, add one more machine. Then you see all the three virtual machines are equally balanced. If all the three virtual machines are now 90%, then add one more server. If all the four virtual machines are again reached 90%, then add one more server. So maximum number of servers we needed is 5, because we are expecting around 2 crores users. I told you normally 25 to 30, 25 to 30 lakhs. Okay, so the expected capacity is around 1.5 to 5 crore. That is why I told 5 computers can be triggered. So even if it is no 30 to 40,000 users, one server is accommodate also. So 4 5 your whatever expected load is meeting. Okay, so that is what we are telling the conditions. Okay, and we will also tell that as soon as the utilization comes to 60% in all the 5 virtual machines, shut down the 2 virtual machines. Like that you can define the conditions. So the auto scaling will takes care of increasing or decreasing the load up according to the condition. Either it will increase the number of virtual machines, or it will increase the capacity of the existing virtual machines. Okay, to understand that, there are two types of scalings. Okay, one is horizontal scaling, another one is vertical scaling. So horizontal scaling means it increases or decreases the number of virtual machines. Okay, means if you have, let me open the pen. If it is horizontal, right? So say for example, you have 2 virtual machines. You will tell as soon as the utilization goes to 80%, you will add one more virtual machine. Okay, and again all the 3 virtual machines going 80%, add one more virtual machine. Again one more. You can define, because minimum is 2, maximum is 5. Then as soon as the users are done with the shopping, okay, by the time you are spending, the utilization of the VMs will also coming down. So as soon as the utilization of the VMs are coming down, then you will tell the auto scaling to shut down one server. So all the 3 servers which got built recently, they will be getting discarded, and that minimum 2 servers should be always, they will be up and running. That is called as horizontal scaling. So we have another option called vertical scaling. So what it will do, the vertical scaling keeps the same number of VMs, but it does increases or decreases the CPU and memory and storage of the virtual machines to make the virtual machine powerful. Means you see here you have a virtual machine. Okay, in case of vertical scaling, say for example you have a virtual machine here. Okay, it has got maybe around 4 CPU and 8 GB memory. So what it will do, it increases the capacity to maybe 8 CPU and 16 GB memory. So this extra getting increased. Okay, and in order to do the vertical scaling, the computer will get restarted. But in the horizontal scaling, the computer will not get restarted, because we are not touching the 2 virtual machines which are already there. We are adding the additional servers there. Hence, there is no question or there is no point of the application will go off. No, not even a small, a little bit extent also, the application will not go down in case of horizontal. But in case of vertical, we need to restart the server to increase the increase the size of the virtual machine, right? Or when you change the virtual machine size, then it should restart. Then you will have the application downtime for some time, maybe around 10 minutes or 5 minutes. The application will get restarted or shut down. Okay, that is called as vertical scaling. But that's what I said. So, but need to the if you see, it needs the VM restart to add the additional resources. So now you know auto scaling means the ability of increasing or decreasing the compute capacity or the computers according to the application requirement. There are two types of scaling. One is horizontal scaling, another one is vertical scaling. Horizontal scaling means you are adding additional servers to the pool of VMs we have which are hosting the application. In case of vertical, you are increasing the capacity of the existing servers. Either you are increasing or decreasing based on the condition. You may tell as soon as the 90% reaches, increase the size to the next level. Or as soon as the utilization goes 40%, decrease the size of the virtual machine by 1. Okay, that is called as vertical. In case of vertical, we need to restart the server, but in case of horizontal, we don't need to restart the servers. That is the scaling. You see here, the pictorial representation will help you to understand. If the condition meets, either increase or decrease the resources will happen. Look at the condition here. If the CPU percentage condition, if the CPU is more than 80%, increase the VM by one number. This is called as scale out, because you are expanding your virtual machines, or you are increasing your virtual machines count. That is called as scale out. Out means bigger. If the total utilization is less than 20%, then decrease the VM by one number. So increasing we call it as scale out, decreasing we will call it as scale in. Okay, so this is what the vertical scaling you see here. Earlier it was a small VM here, this one. Then as soon as the utilization is going higher, I have increased to this one. Even that virtual machine is also getting increased. The utilization is crossing 90%. Then I am increasing to the next bigger size. But in this case, we need to restart in every. Here also we need to restart. Here also we need to restart. But here it is not like that, because we are just keep on adding the virtual machines here. Okay, that is called as the scale out and scale in. Okay, and this is the representation. You can see vertical scaling means increase in the capacity. Horizontal scaling means adding the additional VM to balance the load. Okay, see here, increases the size of the VM. See, scale out means increases the size or VM numbers. Scale in means reduces the size or VM numbers. Okay, note here, VNet to be specified during the scale set creation to place the VMs after the auto scaling. Means when you are creating the scale set, right, you need to specify in which virtual network you need to keep the virtual machines, so that all the required ports are opened and the load balancer will send the application request for that particular VMs. Okay, that is called as scale in and scale out. Okay, so this is what I wanted to explain with respect to the auto scaling. Okay, so I will show you that when we are building the virtual machines. Okay, so there is an option when you are building the virtual machines. If you go to the redundancy, there you have whether you want availability set or availability zone, or you want to put it in the auto scaling. Okay, there you can create the conditions and you can test. Okay, so now we are done with this auto scaling concept. Let me quickly take you to the portal. Okay, and see if I can see the reproduction completion there. See here, now I have come to this Northern Europe DR RSV01. Okay, Now they are getting replicated. If yesterday, if you remember, as soon as we replicated, started replicated, it got initiated the replication. It is 8% synchronized. This is 7% synchronized as of now. Okay, if you see here, if you see the site recovery jobs, you can see the not here. I think as soon as we are done with the completion of 100% there, then you can click on that and you can see here the fail these options. Okay, failover, test failover, everything will be enabled, and you need to do the way you did today for the Western Europe to Northern Europe. Same fashion, we need to move the server from Northern Europe to Western Europe once this is synchronized. It is still going on 85, it is 8%. Okay, so we have to wait for that to complete. So maybe tomorrow I'll show you that how can you move back from DR region to the primary region. Okay, I think with that we can stop for the day. We'll continue tomorrow. Let me stop the recording and then I'll take the questions. Thank you all. Have a good day.